What's up, everybody? Orange Podcast Bad. We got Paul here. JC may or may not join us. I haven't heard from the Canuck, but we do have Trad Mom and Trad Dad here with us too. They're calling in on the phone, so you won't see them on the screens. But I guess the first thing, Paul, is I don't have any care whether they go do a government shutdown or not. None of Schumer's fear mongering works on me. I give zero shits about this. And I think Thomas Massey voting with his morals when he has no bill to present, a budget bill that's even passable by the current House and Senate. Bro, quit grandstanding. That's why Trump labeled you grandstanding Massey.
Right. Yeah. Massey and Schumer. I believe that the Republicans are trying to ruin the world. And those are, and every single time it is Schumer and his ilk that are the ones doing this pork barrel shit. Hey, you want me to vote for a balanced budget? You're going to have to build this bridge for me in my district across the Lebanon Creek in Michigan. That's it. Or I'm not voting for it.
Did you hear what his bridge was this time?
What was it?
Healthcare for illegals. Healthcare for illegals. He wants it put back in. And he's not budging until he gets that put back in, which would be like an extra $1.5 trillion for next year's budget.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, yeah. What was it that LBJ famously said? I'll have them voting Democrat for the next 200 years.
Yep.
That's that same, play.
Well, I mean, the only reason it's in there is just to have a poison pill that they know that the Republicans won't vote for. So have that in there. You know a few of them won't go for it, and that means that it shuts down.
Of course, right. And then he can blame, it's the evil Republicans that are the reason that military families and spouses and children don't get a paycheck, right? It's the same game they've played for 40 years with this crap. I mean, the last budget we actually had was 1996, Bill Clinton. Ever since then, we've been running on omnibuses and continuing resolutions because neither party can put together an actual spending bill. Yep. So I don't care. Shut it down. Deal with it. Deal with the consequences.
I'm with you 100%, bro. I'm okay. You want to send 750,000 people, federal employees home? Go ahead. I don't give a shit.
Yep.
I don't give a shit.
And they don't either because
anyway, and you're marginally performing.
I've been through government shutdowns at the federal level. Everybody ends up getting paid anyways, even after they were sent home. It's a free vacation. It's an absolutely free vacation.
It's absolutely true. I know I went through a shutdown when I was working for the commissary, and nobody lost any pay or anything like that. And you still got paid one way or the other by hook or by crook, and
absolutely. And I remember it was Obama's. It was one of his longest shutdowns. They actually had I was in management with a quasi-federal agency, and the executives called us all in and said, "Okay, so here we've crunched the books. We literally have 87 days of operating cash on hand." And we've never seen a government shutdown go past about 35 days. Yeah. So go have a meeting with all your employees and tell them everything will be fine. We're not going to send anyone home. You're all going to work your regular hours. You're all going to get paid on time.
Mm-hmm.
I went through one shutdown once, and they were talking about it on the contract going, we're paid up for the next 6 months. It doesn't matter to us at all.
Absolutely. Right. And so it's just fear-mongering that nobody's going to get paid and everyone's going to get sent home. I've explained this before. It is absolute BS. All of the agencies prepare for this. And if their CFO isn't prepared for this, their CFO has no business being with the agency.
100 on that.
What's up, JC? See, you made it home.
Hey!
I did.
Hi, JC.
A late night making South St. Louis beautiful.
Is that possible?
Let's just say it's grass-fed beef here.
Yeah, grass. But I thought you're living in Creve Coeur, right? Aren't you in Creve Coeur?
No, I'm down by Grant's Farm.
Oh,
Yeah. So, U.S. Grant's
well.
Whitehaven Manor is 3 blocks to my right.
Oh, I got you.
I actually have deers running through in the front yard and that because
Oh yeah.
Grant's Farm.
You,
Grant's
you
Farm.
use night vision when you get off the property and go.
Yeah.
No,
You inspired me with that picture.
Well, he didn't have any ammo, that's for sure. So
We need to set up some trap cams in our backyard because we've got deer, foxes, and you name it going through the open land just behind our house. So we see all kinds of critters.
now, where are you guys again? Are you out in Fairfax?
No, we're actually down in Woodbridge. We bought a house down there.
Oh, Woodbridge. That's right. I remember you were talking about that. Yeah,
Yeah, no, because the last time you saw us, we were still living up in that condo in McLean.
in the condo. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no. We moved out of that place as soon as we saw that we could. Well, as soon as I got my VA rating and I knew I was going to get my waiver for property tax, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get in there and get myself a house. So we did.
3 cheers for being broken.
Right?
Oh man.
So, JC, we were talking about the government shutdown, but then we were started to talk about Chuck Schumer, and Paul did a really great impression. Do you think Chuck realizes this is his last term, that the AOCs of the party are going to primary him? He's toast.
No, he's finished. I mean, there's no question, and he can't win because if he goes in and he stands firm, the public pressure will just be so overwhelming, and his poll numbers will go down to nothing. Because remember, the last time Trump cornered him on a government shutdown, and people don't talk about this, it was over illegal aliens, and guess what? This one is too.
Yeah.
I know the media doesn't want to talk about it, but the funding that they're talking about restoring, every penny of it goes to illegal aliens. I can't believe they're going to die on that hill.
Yeah. That's exactly what Sean said like 4 minutes ago, like literally almost verbatim.
Oh yeah.
What he said like 4 minutes ago.
I wasn't listening, but maybe Schumer didn't learn last time, but he's going to lose.
The way he's going at it tells me he believes that his primary is going to be a breeze, and I don't think he has an idea that the actual younger progressive Democrats in the party don't want that old man anywhere near the party anymore.
Anywhere near him.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Done, dude.
When he looks in the mirror, he should see a reflection of Andrew Cuomo. Because what's happening to Cuomo right now is what will happen to Schumer.
It's true, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So,
just as long as it wasn't a picture of Chris Cuomo during COVID.
Oh.
So with Schumer, it'd be like the guy on the subway platform at the end of the subway platform in the raincoat, muttering to the little girls as they go by.
Yeah, right.
He's not going to know what to do with himself. He spent his entire life in Congress, right? He's not going to, or in Senate. He's not going to.
He's the Joe Biden of New York.
Absolutely.
His entire career has been in the House or in the Senate.
Yeah, a little bit less sniffing hair.
Listen. They both work with plugs.
That's too easy.
That's a beautiful 5-head, Paul.
Well, somebody's got to do it, right? Does anyone give a crap that Trump's charging $100K for H-1B visa now?
Oh hell no. I think it's a great idea. I think the companies that can do it can bring in, productive individuals and are not, bringing in freeloaders. Absolutely.
They're still gonna do it, but now they're gonna actually have to pay a little bit for it rather than offloading the entire
Right.
cost of H-1B onto taxpayers.
Yeah, on the taxpayer.
Absolutely.
Exactly
So it's
right.
kind of a middle ground solution. The jobs that they train these Indians for, they would have to pay an American 180,000 to do, and they pay the Indians 40,000. And the
Hmm.
reason the Indians take the deal is so the Sean, JC, and Paul can pay for their green card at the end of the rainbow in 5 years.
Exactly right.
That's the whole thing. It's a pot of gold. So why not get an extra 60 grand out of them if they're going to do that, and find out if they can even send us some that are uh, better quality. That they're sure going to make it. It makes
Oh
the hill a
yeah,
little
better
bit
quality. Yeah.
higher to climb.
Mhm.
I
I mean,
tell you, bro. What? One more time, I got some Durka going. Oh, hello today, Mister Paul. My name is Brian. Your name's not Brian, dude.
Oh,
I'm
I
telling you,
had one.
there's a 95% chance your last name is Patel.
Yep.
right.
I had one last week when I was calling in to take care of some bills, and the lady answers the phone. It was a female this time, and she answers the phone. She goes, "Yes, my name is Susan." I'm like, "Your name is not Susan, honey. I'm
Yeah.
sorry."
Susan. That's like the most American name ever.
I was a late comer to this podcast, and I apologize to our assembled fans across the fruited plain. But I think I distinctly recognize the voice of Trad Mom.
You got that right.
Okay, Trad Mom, I
Mm.
tip my cap in your direction on the diagnosis of the Kirk shooter. You nailed it, and I
Yep.
sat there and I was wrong. So tip of the cap.
Thank you. I just went with, like I said, the history of what I'd seen and just the extremes that I saw coming out. Plus, furthermore, on top of that, I'd already heard some of the nonsense that was coming out of people from within that circle because of some of the contacts that I have. So I already knew it was going to be coming from some, trans supporting lunatic.
Well, to add a little bit of applesauce to the ice cream. Turns out that the person who tried to murder Brett Kavanaugh is trans also.
Oh my goodness. Yep. See,
Uh-huh.
it.
Yeah.
Say that
Mm.
again, JC. Sorry. Say that again, brother.
No, the person they just found out that the person who tried to murder Kavanaugh back during the Roe versus Wade debate, the guy who came from California, is
Yeah.
trans. Yeah,
Oh, really?
trans. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
I didn't
mean,
see that. Holy cow.
show me a really horrible, awful killing, public killing that's occurred recently that hasn't involved that.
Well, look at
Yeah.
go all the way back to Paul Pelosi and his Hammer Time friend, and they still
Oh
have
yeah, I know
the
what
media
that was.
is still trying to claim that this guy was MAGA, and no, all the evidence
No.
points to transgenderism,
He wasn't
cultural
MAGA. He's a pole
Marxist.
smoker, and Paul Pelosi's a pervert.
Yes,
Yeah, and Tim Kaine and Hammer Time to Pape and Paulie have all been seen at the same San Francisco bathhouse. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
I could have gone
Oh,
all night without hearing that,
that's
bro.
a, oh,
well, and
God, that's a
again,
gross
remember,
thought.
he'd never met him before in his life. That's the story they're still sticking with, and
Yeah,
that's completely
You
Mm.
bet.
untrue.
Yeah, did
yeah.
never know.
He was what people would call a lady of the night.
He
Oh,
broke into my house and used a hammer to force me to take blue pills.
oh, good grief.
Well, are we ever
So,
gonna get are we ever gonna get the real story on Paulie's DUI out in the
Oh
middle of
yeah, and his
oh
California?
using
no.
Porsche Panamera where he
You
wrapped it
know
up
who was
into
in
the
that
barbed
car
wire
with him?
fence and
It
goes,
was
"I
hammer
wasn't
time to
drinking."
pay. He was in that car. I guarantee it.
Oh my
Probably
goodness. No,
so.
no,
Now,
so going back to JC, going back to what I was telling you. No, I have a contact who is in the process of detransitioning. They were somebody that went and fell into that brainwash, but they're coming back now, and I'm so happy for them. But we were talking the other day, and they were telling me the rhetoric that they're coached on, the things that they are taught. I mean, within their own little circle, is absolute pure lunacy. I mean, it is literally it's the cuckoos running the asylum. It's really what it is. It's the cuckoos running the asylum.
Wow.
it it
Well,
seems like we.
absolutely. And when they teach these people over and over and over and over and over that speech is violence, they're responding with violence to
Yeah.
speech. And that's what happened with
Yeah, that's
almost
what
all of
happened.
these.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
what was it, a Sacramento? Yeah, Sacramento ABC affiliate got shot up this morning. They don't have the perp, but most likely this was some sort of rage over Kimmel and First Amendment free, which is
Uh,
hilarious.
And then you also have to take into account now we've got Antifa finally being recognized as a terrorist
yeah.
organization.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's a hell of a thing.
And
What did
then the
we
other
got
part
more
is
points now?
the regular, I'll say regular crime, three Pennsylvania stateies getting
Yeah,
ambushed and killed on a domestic violence trying to serve a warrant, and the only thing wrong with that guy was he was a super alpha drunk with anger issues and he
Hmm.
outgunned him.
So
You don't go knock on the door with a goddamn 9 millimeter unreliable Glock against a guy with an AR platform that's prior army that has a little training,
Hmm.
you know, and the aggravating part is prior law enforcement. I can tell you, the aggravating part is when you go that extra mile as a law enforcement officer to do enforcement, you're the one that gets your ass kicked. We were working Vice at a park where he had numerous complaints of, they call them in Florida, they call them daddies. Daddies in the park hanging out by the bathroom.
Hmm.
Yeah, in Kentucky, that was Mitch McConnell in Louisville.
Yeah, yeah. So I creep up the steps at this park to the bathroom, and I open the door, and there's a 70-year-old guy and an 18-year-old guy on his knees in front of the 70-year-old guy. And the 70-year-old guy was in a discernibly turgid state, is how
Oof.
we put it in police reports. So I grabbed
Yikes.
the 17-year-old guy and I threw him off the balcony of the bathroom. It wasn't far, 8 feet, maybe 7. And then I grabbed the old guy and I broke his glasses putting the handcuffs on because he was, struggling. Well, the old guy's a school teacher.
oh
Oh,
God.
The young
Of
guy
course,
was a student.
of course.
oh God. Oh.
And they were going to suspend me for 3 days. And
Really?
we're non-union, so I can't go to my union rep or any of that shit. And so what they did is they reassigned me. They didn't suspend me, but they reassigned me for 90 days. And
That
I'm
boy
like,
was an example of one of Randy Weingarten's finest.
Yep.
yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying, JC, right? You grab, what the hell are you doing, dude? And you just kind
Hmm.
of toss him out there. So your arrest team, could grab him and cuff him up.
Break
And
it
so
up.
what do? They go, whoop, oh, look at him fly. They don't catch him or, they're like, wow, look at that guy go. That's pretty good.
Glad it wasn't me.
Well,
Yeah, how
Paul,
about that? There it goes.
did
Did
you see
anyone have
there's
cards up for judging on that one?
I give that landing a 5.
no kidding.
Hold a little sign up.
Exactly.
Well, there's a couple of videos
Regular Janus.
going around, Paul, ICE, just letting ladies that are blocking ICE vehicles just picking them up and just tossing them, just letting
Yeah,
them
it's
fly.
awesome. Yeah.
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 There was a,
And so, that is pearl clutching shit today. But back in the old days when I was doing law enforcement, that's the way it was. You got to say son of a bitch. You got to say damn shit, hell. Soon as you move to MF, I'm putting my hands on you and I'm going to toss you in the bush because you're not MFing me, dude. I'm a deputy sheriff in St. Lucie County, Florida.
but now they would ride a desk for 90
But
days, right?
oh yeah, now they're like you're lucky to have a job,
That's terrible.
Yeah, the times have changed. The times have
My
changed.
Hey, Trad Mama, my first uniform had a pocket on the seam below my hip for a slapjack, a lead-filled leather slapjack, and I was issued one, and it was nothing to go shapow of
Yeah.
somebody running their mouth.
Oh no, absolutely. That was the way it was handled back then. I mean, heck,
That's what you did.
even during my youth, it was still handled like that. I didn't start seeing the turn until I was in college.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I still saw a bit of the rough. Because keep in mind, I went to school in like the 90s and
Yeah.
early 2000s, so it hadn't entirely changed just yet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it really wasn't
Well,
until sometime in the early 2000s. I mean, I still remember when they would do drug raids in the high schools with the dogs, and then
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
they'd match the number up, and then two big cops would come and just manhandle a teenage boy for
Oh yeah.
having a dime bag of weed in his locker.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember watching people getting carried out of my first high school. Now, obviously, I didn't see it at my second school because we moved to a quote unquote nicer neighborhood. But my first high school, no, I regularly saw kids getting carried out for all kinds of crap.
This was now we lived on the outskirts of town, but we're in the school district. This would have been one of like the nicest school districts in Indiana at the time. Just to put that into perspective, all kids were still smoking weed. It doesn't matter what neighborhood you live
Oh yeah. Yeah.
in. Yeah,
uh,
whatever. They'd come back
argument
3 or
there.
4 days later after their suspension, and everybody like, dude, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. That was awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, I
So
remember the first time. I remember the first time I saw a kid being carted off. And this was post 9/11 that this happened. I remember the first time I saw a kid getting carted off for potential terrorist threat. Like the first time I ever saw it happen. And it wasn't that he had anything. He didn't have a gun. He didn't have weapons. He didn't have anything for creating. But he had just said something. It was just words. And they showed up and they carted him out of the school. And I was like, this was the first time I'd ever seen somebody policed for words in my life.
happens all the time now.
Hmm.
Apparently not enough. I believe the FBI and everyone's gonna go. Oh my God, you're no. The FBI is finally looking at social media and looking into all these threats to see
The,
if they're credible.
the
Hmm.
news on the FBI is, I'd say, finally the needle's gone to about above 50% good. If you're looking at their activity and their body of work, they're doing a lot now. and
Mm.
they are chasing bad guys. Now, we do not have, Trad Mom, what we must have, and that is some arrests of some names we recognize. Okay, we still don't have that, but
Hmm.
overall, they're busting. I think they use the Epstein files to bust these human trafficking rings because they're doing huge work on that, and they found a lot of these girls, a lot of these young people that were lost in the system, and that's all to the good. Uh, but overall, we're still yet to quite break through.
Don't you think
And,
there's going to
and
be more of a tolerance for lots of heavy law enforcement activities with the turning of the tide with Charlie Kirk? Like that was always the Republicans just turn the other cheek, or they just dealt with it, or okay, fine, the Supreme Court said gays can marry. Okay, that's it's over. Let's call it what it is. And now I think all of a sudden people are going, no, screw you guys. You've been bullying us for
and
40 or
yet,
50 years, and
Yep.
we're done being bullied. So we're
We're
going to
done
do to
being bullied.
you
Fuck
what you've been
yourself.
doing to
Yeah.
us. We're going to hunt you down. We're
Yep.
going to arrest you. We're going
Yep.
to we're going to do
a
everything you've been doing to us for 40 years.
Yep.
couple things.
Hmm.
First of all, it looks like that the employers weren't quite as woke as we thought. I think they were under enormous pressure to go along with the program, and so they did. All right, because they've flipped on a dime. All of a sudden, now those guys are getting fired, and it's like, wow. I mean, I thought you could say anything you wanted about a conservative, and you could get away with it, but obviously not.
Not
You
anymore.
can't do
Yeah.
it. Not anymore. Okay, that's all. That's why I flipped it above 50%. That's all to the good. That's a cultural win. Uh,
Big time.
secondly, though, I just still see the hesitation. I hear the words. They have a press conference and they start to talk about interagency cooperation, and I want to say, Cash, the interagency is the enemy. Okay, stop trying to co-opt them. Stop trying to butter them up. They're the people we must defeat.
Mhm.
It's the deep state.
Don't you
Mhm.
think too? Like, so I like what the FBI's. I do like what they're working on, but we've
Yeah.
talked about this before that they should have a huge recruiting campaign for U.S. Marshals right now. That
Yep.
way,
Yes.
they can go in and clean up these Democrat cities that just
Yep.
refuse to clean themselves.
Yep.
I
I
like the
agree.
strategy though. I like the strategy though, starting out with blue cities and red states.
Yeah.
So you
Yes.
have the support of the governor.
Yes.
I'm hopeful that St. Louis will be next.
Oh, I hope so. I
It
can
needs
tell
to
you
be.
because I still have a lot of contacts in Indiana. People in Indiana are begging the governor to
Clean
just
up Gary.
call the president and say Indianapolis, Gary. There's nobody who lives in
Really?
Gary. They don't.
Indianapolis?
Uh,
I always thought Indianapolis was okay. No?
Oh, Indianapolis. Gary was a thing in the 60s, 70s, and then maybe the 80s. But by then, the jobs had all dried up, the steel mills
Okay.
had closed, so people had to leave. And the problem was is you had people coming in from Chicagoland and squatting in these properties.
Mm-hmm.
So a
Okay.
mayor about 15 years ago said, you know what? Since nobody has any claim to any of these properties anymore, we're just going to crush them. And so the town went from, I don't remember how many houses, and demolished like 48% of the houses. And the crime is, there's still crime, but it's not like what we used to call the murder capital of the world.
All right. Okay. I, I'm 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 showing my age, Trad Mom. I was in school. I was in college during the '80s. Okay.
And it was the murder capital of the world at that time.
Yes. No.
Uh,
We went right. We listen. We went on senior trip. We went to Chicago, and it was Eli Lilly and Indianapolis. We went right through Gary. Absolutely. Abbott Labs, all that. I mean, behind enemy lines at Big Pharma. Yeah,
you can
JD.
see that right from
Yeah,
the
they didn't
Skyway.
know
You
I
can
was a double agent. Yeah.
from the Skyway, you could see the Lake Michigan. It was probably the first time many of you guys had seen Lake Michigan. And you're like,
Absolutely.
holy crap, that's an ocean.
So both Chad Dad and I are children of the early '80s. So for us, seeing a lot of the crackdowns that came out in like the '90s, like the implementation of the DARE program and things like that and stuff, were our generation. And boy, has it been! I'll say it's been a wild ride.
The DARE program, that was such a waste of money. It didn't do anything.
It absolutely was.
It was terrible.
God, it was
Most of the people that they started catching for doing drugs later on had DARE T-shirts on.
I know.
Yes. Yeah, what I think it was a way to get federal funding for school resource officers, and they called it DARE.
I remember DARE.
Anytime the feds make money available, the program will be created. I've heard it referred to as demand side government.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just if money's available, they will come.
Trust me, and if you work for the government and have access to the checkbook like I did for 8 years, you're everybody's best friend. You are the coolest guy on the block. They all want to take you out.
Yep,
they want to wine you and dine you and take you on vacation and break all of the federal regulations just to be your best friend. Yes, they all chase government contracts. Everybody.
It's just because you're so good looking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, I remember it was hilarious because I wanted my job to keep my my 3 kids and wife in a house, but I would look at some of these chicks that they would send, right, and I would just be like, there is no way in hell if I met you in a bar you would even look at me. You just know I've got a government checkbook.
Right. And you've got your antibiotic deal, and you're hoping that if you hike your skirt a little bit and smile at me that I'll go ahead and buy it. That's totally what that was.
Absolutely. I'll give you the real specs, not the specs we're going to put online, so that you can bid specifically what I want you to bid, so that we'll award you the contract. And dirty shit like that happens all the time. I didn't do it, but there was, I don't know how many other
Sean,
agencies.
That's tiddlywinks compared to what we've just gone through.
Right?
No,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, my parents and grandparents lived through the Great Depression. Folks, we've all lived through the Great Corruption.
No, absolutely.
There's no other word for this.
Mm-mm.
As bad as you think it is, it's worse.
Absolutely. No, I mean, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, dear.
I'm waiting for Harmeet Dillon to destroy the DBE program at the federal level, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, like she promised she would. There is so much grift in that thing. Unbelievable amounts of money that go to companies that don't actually do anything because they are a protected minority class. I'm not being racist. They don't do anything.
I know you're not.
They get the reward and don't have to show up.
It's the same thing in the defense contracting world, where certain sectors is like, all right, we're only giving this to Native American companies. Why? Well, because that's how we're doing it.
Oh yeah, no, that was an issue we had recently, babe. What was the one? It was you'd been picked up.
Yeah, I don't want to say the name of the company that's involved in it because I don't know if they're like Boeing and I'll die, but
so you got a better chance than if you ride in one of their planes.
Exactly right. So the prime contractor was a Native American company, and the subcontractor, they wanted me on the team. They said everything was fine. It was for a collection management position. And they said, the prime won't accept you because you don't have really any experience doing collection management. And they want someone with that. And I explained to the program manager for the subcontractor, I'm like, Yeah, but you're not going to get many people that have collection management experience. Most don't get it. Most analysts don't. He's like, yeah, I know that, but he wants somebody that is going in it, and it's a Native American contract, so they've had it for the last 15 to 20 years.
Yes, and there's also a component in there that usually somebody on the government side or the checkbook side obviously is getting something on the back end, and
Yep.
Yeah.
everybody's talked about that
Oh,
for
imagine that.
forever.
Yeah.
Oh no, we
Uh,
had another thing we've been doing lately is when we put in any sort of applications or paperwork or anything like that, we have not been declaring his gender, his race. The only thing we've declared was that he's a vet, and that's it.
Well,
No.
how does he self-identify today?
I self identify today as awake, alive, and breathing.
Excellent.
that's pretty solid. And then, are you also clicking the box that says I do not consent to having AI review me?
Yes, I've been seeing that on a bunch of paperwork, and yeah, no, straight up. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
They're not
Huh.
listening. They still run it through the AI.
I wonder if
They
we
are.
could game the system and just put a bunch of keywords that AI is looking for.
You
Well,
probably
think about
could.
it, because people use AI to update their resumes now. So now you got AI reviewing an AI resume. Like we live in an upside down world at this point.
What could
Yes,
go
because
wrong?
AI never makes mistakes.
What could go wrong?
Right. I don't know
I'm,
what
s-
could go wrong.
I'm still amazed that most of the eco freaks out there haven't figured out that AI uses way more power than anything else that's ever been created.
They've just figured it out.
Oh, they finally have? Because most of them
Yeah, they have.
they
If,
want AI
if you
for
listen,
everything, and I'm like, that uses a ton of power.
My 13-year-old sent me a TikTok that she had made. So it's already in the school systems. It was like a 40-page slide through thing that she had put together about how data centers are going to destroy through climate change, destroy the world. So yes, the school kids already they're like, we don't want AI, we don't want to use AI. They're sending it to their parents. Parents, don't use the AI. It's bad for the world. It's bad for global warming or whatever they called it today. It's out there.
Yeah. I actually had to have a conversation with my dad about AI generated art because my dad didn't understand why artists take umbrage with the idea of AI art. And we had to have this huge, like, hour long conversation about like the whole process. And I was just like, Dad, you really have no idea. Oh my God. It was so, I never thought I'd have that conversation before, but it was nuts.
Oh, absolutely true. My mother's in her early 70s, and I try to explain to her because I use AI quite frequently, and I have made an entire podcast out of AI with AI generated voices and a script off a 3 sentence prompt, and generated that. It's posted on this channel somewhere. I don't know, probably 20 or 30 episodes ago. The AI art, which is super simple to do with a half a paragraph describing what you want the art to look like. A month from now, Grok Imagine will be able to do up to 30-minute video segments. So people are going to start making TV with text prompts, and just post them wherever they post, Twitch or here on Rumble or over there on X, or and if if it's good content, it will be monetized. People will be rewarded for it. If they come up with a good story, Hollywood's dead. People are going to be able to do all this themselves. I've actually got, because Elon has built the world's largest AI network with Tesla.
Oh, are you
I've
going to
got
play
an
that?
I've got an interesting video. Let me bring that up real quick.
well, while you're doing that, I just wanted to make an observation. The
Go for it.
you were constantly hearing about global warming and net zero and all the rest of that. Have you noticed that we aren't hearing quite as much about that anymore?
They're still trying. Let's give this a play and see what it.
I know they're
Yeah.
trying, but once the tech bros figured out how much electricity they were going to need to run AI,
Yes,
yeah,
Yep.
it's much less.
it's a
From
good point.
the noise about it is much less, and
Hmm.
without the amplification of the social media, it's far less effective. So I think the whole Green New Deal is dead.
Well, and you got to look at like with XAI, they're almost all self-powered with Powerwall technology, solar and battery packs, right? And these other companies like Google and Meta are looking at using what are they called? Mobile nuclear reactors, MNRs.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
Microsoft wants to turn back on 3 Mile Island for theirs.
yeah,
this
see
is this is
that's gonna
really this is. Go ahead.
that's gonna be what the citizen ends up paying for. XAI and even Meta, and I hate Mark Zuckerberg, are looking at providing their own power for their data centers.
Right. And the little nuclear boxes that they've got are far cheaper and far more efficient. And nuclear power has changed. It turned the whole thing on its head. We
Yeah,
we all
leaps
think of
and
those big,
bounds.
we all think of those big cooling towers in Chernobyl and all that crap. That's not what it is at all anymore.
Nope. Let's play this video from. I think it's pretty interesting from Elon.
We're seeing your email, Sean.
Uh, can you guys hear it?
No.
Nope.
Hold on.
Honestly, I think Zuckerberg wants power just because he's a robot and he needs to recharge himself.
Yeah, no kidding. Right.
He's a scumbag. There we go.
There it is.
Um, here it is.
Sean, you're getting to be quite the multimedia magnate.
Even without the cybercab, we still actually have a gigantic fleet that is capable of being autonomous. And the thing about being an autonomous car is that it can be used much more than a car that is not autonomous. A typical passenger vehicle car will be used about 10 hours a week. So people might use it for an hour and a half a day on average for 7 days, which is about 10 hours a week. But there are 168 hours in a week. So if you have a car that's a robot car that can drive autonomously, it can now be used potentially for 80, maybe 100 hours a week. So you could have a car that has 10 times the usefulness of a non-autonomous car, but it still costs the same. In fact, the fleets are already built. So the software update just enables that capability. Overnight, you have an increase in usefulness of 10 million cars that suddenly become like 50 million cars or maybe 80 or 100 million cars of usefulness overnight. That's a profound thing. Like nothing like that has ever happened before. There's never been something where a software update increased the value of a gigantic asset base by a factor of like 500 to 1,000%. So it's very difficult for people in the stock market, especially those that look in the rearview mirror, which is most people, to imagine a future where suddenly a 10 million vehicle fleet has 5 to 10 times the usefulness. It's so profound, and there's no comparison with anything in the past that they just can't. It does not compute. but it will compute in the future.
So we are going to live in the time, right, where our cars are literally going to work for us, as
Yep.
opposed to the other way around. So
Yep.
you'll take it. You won't drive it. You'll get in it. You may go to work, maybe for a while until the robots take over the jobs. But then you send your car out. You just turn on your robo-taxi app and say, "I want you to be a taxi for the next 6 hours," and then pick me up at the end of that. And you're getting paid fares the entire time.
Oh my God. Babe, the RTX thing.
I'm not
You
thinking
remember?
about it. I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking more of. I've actually thought of, while Elon was talking there, I could clearly tell that he doesn't really understand how cars work. Despite the fact that he builds a lot of them and has his own fleet of them that he has manufactured, this is coming from someone that has been in the logistics industry and has dealt with large vehicles that are constantly running. If you are constantly running vehicles, you're still getting wear and tear on those vehicles. So that means just because you can increase the amount of time that it's on the road, you're going to also be increasing all the wear and tear that's on the vehicle. Everything from the tires, the batteries, the wear, just normal wear and tear on a vehicle breaks it down. And so it hasn't, the cost benefit there isn't really the same.
The difference here with the electric vehicles, and I know this because I bought a bunch of $1.2 million electric buses, is that you never do an oil change. There's no parts that, like a gas engine, combustion engine has like 460 moving parts. There's no moving parts really other than an electric motor and the brakes. So tire wear, tire wear you're going to get.
In other words, it makes the cost of the battery makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
And
this has been my whole thing with electric cars. I can't figure out how, if it's just replacing a gas-powered vehicle, how the cost of that battery makes sense. But what you guys are talking about right here, if the car can be being used 24 hours a day and there's no additional wear and tear on it other than just tires and whatever, then yeah, I can see it now.
Tires and brakes, that's it. That's it. And you're going to get typically about 15 years useful battery life, whether you use the battery or don't use the battery.
Right. If you don't use it, you're losing.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So, right.
In fact, it probably runs out faster if you don't use it. Yeah.
It does, which is why you will see.
My experience with batteries. Yeah.
Why you will see your phone, or if you have a brand new computer, it will yell at you that you leave it plugged in too much. It wants you to use the battery because you're going to kill your battery by leaving it on AC power.
Well, in my typical way, when I first heard him talking about a software update that increased capacity, all I can think of is software updates and what they do to this. They change the navigation all the time and drive me absolutely crazy and turn me into a get off my lawn old man who just doesn't want to deal with it, all right?
So I feel you on that.
A software upgrade that gives you 50 to 75% more capacity or availability. That sounds good. The software updates I get for this, right after I learn how to do a damn screen grab, they send me a software update and the key sequence has changed. And I the hell with it. I don't care.
Well, if you let your car, think about it. If you just lease the thing for 3 years, and if you let your car work 6 hours a day while you're at work, you double what you pay on the lease.
Right.
So you're making money just to have this thing, right? It's paying for itself and then giving you a profit, and that's what he's been trying to get everyone to understand with Cybercab. You don't have to necessarily buy the Cybercab model. If you have a Tesla, update your software when we tell you the update's available, and they will all be Cybercabs. And you can charge a fee for whatever per mile or whatever you want and say that's what it is and throw it out there on the app and let the app know it's available.
I'm way too narcissistic to let that happen.
There's going to be people that are going to be like, I don't want, right? I don't want
I
other people
love
in
my car. I keep my shit all tuned up and clean and pristine, and that's it. And I'm not gonna do a
Well,
cab.
I think
I don't
that
need money that
I
bad.
think
I
that
got money.
This will make all these Uber drivers really happy because the car can run even when they're not running.
right when they're sleeping. But
Hmm.
Paul,
And
I think that the car pride thing died with Gen X. Younger people have no desire, like they don't even want to get their licenses anymore. They want to be driven around, and if this car will drive them around, why would they need a license? They're not driving the car, and then they
Sure,
can make money on it. Like just all they got to do is vacuum it out at the end of the day, report any damages or anything, right? I
That's
think that's
fascinating.
why this is
You
going to be
buy a
one of the.
car, you don't even know how to drive it, and you don't have to.
They won't. They won't. Just
that is
5 to 10 years from now, people won't ever get a license.
honestly, that is the most chilling idea I have ever heard. It is both horrifying and fascinating at the same time.
Feels like the freaking Jetsons, doesn't it?
Well, that's the time we're coming into.
Yeah.
Freaking Skynet, man. That's what that is. It's freaking Skynet.
It is Skynet. Just wait till the Optimus robots start coming online
I
next year.
don't know what
Oh,
Skynet is.
I see those little dogs, and I know you can put a fucking gun on their back, and it just makes me sick to even think about those.
It's the
Paul, you don't know what Skynet is?
Terminator, the movie, or
Terminator.
Yeah. No,
The,
I
mo-
was
the movie
talking about those little.
Terminator.
Oh,
Talking about
yeah, yeah.
oh,
Okay,
Paul.
yeah.
Right now, he's culturally current, no doubt. I'm talking about them damn little dogs that they have like dancing at football
yeah,
games.
that's Boston
Oh,
They can
yeah,
put a
that's Boston
gun on the,
Dynamics.
Dynamics. Yeah,
they can
So
put a
I've
machine
got
gun on the back of that fucker. Yeah.
I've got a 1987 Ford F-250 with a big block 460 in it, and I will not let anyone drive it.
I don't
My
blame
ranch
you.
hand, my ranch hand, he's like, "Hey, Mister Gann, I can run up to the lumber store and get those boards for you that we're going to replace the steps."
In
I
what?
said, "Okay, I'll drive."
You get one of the last
And
vehicles
he's
that
like,
could
"No,
withstand an
yeah,
EMP.
that's right, Ed." He's like, "No, I'm trying to say you don't have to go." And I said, "You don't know what I'm trying to say. You are not driving my motherfucking 1987 Ford F-250 big block. It ain't happening, bruh.
Not
Bruh."
happening.
I it right. So people our age, up and up, right? They all had that. That was my freedom, and you took care of it. You did That's not where young people are at anymore. They,
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
I've had that truck forever,
a
Sean. I'm not.
car.
It's my thing.
A car to
You know what I
them
mean?
doesn't mean anything other than it takes me somewhere.
Yeah.
It's no different to them than an iPad. It's
Yep.
something they use. It's not something. It's not you don't give it a name, right?
Right. Yeah.
Rub the paint down at night.
Yeah.
They don't care. Do they
Yeah.
want it clean? Yeah, they'll vacuum it. They'll wash it. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Where Elon was ahead of the curve when he started with this, and then the humanoid robots is what I'm talking about. Is once those come online, everybody's way of life in first world countries is absolutely going to change, because you think, well, why would I pay 25 grand for a humanoid robot that's basically just going to vacuum my floor? Because you can now lease it out for the other 20 hours of its battery life, and you have a car that can take it to its job site.
Yeah.
You also
Oh my gosh.
have a helper that won't just randomly decide to steal something in your house while it's vacuuming. So
Absolutely.
there's a lot to it.
Yes. Well, it
Hey,
thinks
hey,
that.
can I say something here?
Yeah, jump in.
I've got some wild caught salmon that Tanya has prepared.
All right.
and she said 8 o'clock was the deadline, so I got to go eat it.
Right on. Well, we're pretty close
And
to closing out, anyways. Go for it, man.
All
Go
right.
eat.
Glad to hear she's feeling better and kicking your ass again. That's
She
good.
really is, dude. I was really.
All right. Prayers are with you. You know that.
yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
So all you gotta do is click the button and hang up. You're out.
You're okay, Paul. It's okay. We're here. We're here.
Absolutely. So, right, going back to that, JC, they're going to look at that like they look at an iPad, the younger generations, and go, "Well, I want the Tesla, and I want the matching humanoid Tesla robot, and I could sit at home all day and play Minecraft, and my car and my robot will go to work for me and pay for themselves."
Interestingly enough, Mark Mitchell was saying today, check this out, Trad Mom, that Gen Z youth would be more than willing to accept universal basic income to sit and play video games all day long.
Yep.
That does
Well,
not surprise me. That does not surprise me at all. Absolutely, the work ethic that they have is non-existent. I remember when I was 15, I could not wait to get a summer job because I knew that I would have money to buy the clothes that I wanted and not the clothes that my mommy picked out. I could go and buy other things that my mom wouldn't buy for me, like luxuries that I wanted. Like I really wanted in high school, I wanted a leather jacket. I wanted a leather jacket so badly. And the first time I got one was one I paid for with my own money from working over the summer. And I felt such a deep sense of satisfaction from that. They don't get it. These kids these days do not get that sensation, don't understand it. It's just
they don't,
not
right?
there.
They don't get the dopamine hit from it in the way our generation and the boomer generation did. They
So,
don't, the dopamine hits they get are from interactions online, which is why they're streaming their video game on Twitch and talking to people. You'll see them with their headsets and microphones talking to people.
I do have a question for you guys because I have some current statistics.
Mm.
I was gobsmacked when I heard this. That prior to that bullet finding his neck, Turning Point USA had 2,000 chapters in high schools and colleges across the United States.
Mhm.
Since his death, that tragic day, there have been 54,000 applications from high schools and colleges across the United States. What does that change? Is that the earthquake we've been looking for, or does it depend on what we do with it? And does that change the mindset of being willing to game all day long as opposed to taking a wife and raising a family?
So one thing that I noticed, and this was almost in the like within 24 to 48 hours of the shooting taking place, was how many people that were in my social media sphere that were going, well, it was Sunday, they're like, well, I'm going to church today. And there are
Yeah,
people that hadn't gone to church in who knows how long. And then there was people going, well, I'm going outside, I'm doing this. I think it woke a lot of people up to the sad reality that the world has now changed, at least here in the United States, and it's not something that they like. And if they want to fix it, they have to find a way that goes forward in the path that they want. Now, obviously, the left's path has not worked,
No.
and a lot of the gens, not Gen Z as much, but I think they're what, Gen Alpha now or whatever.
Yeah, Gen Alpha. Yeah.
They have kind of turned a corner, unlike Gen Z, where it's like they've realized this all sucks. What we have in the schools and everything else, this is terrible. Let's
Yes.
go back to what
Yeah.
our actual moral roots are, instead of just going, whatever, to each their own.
Don't
Come
you
on,
think that?
guys.
Don't you think
Go
the
ahead, Chuck.
timing though, JC? The timing though is also perfect because this generation, both the Z and the youngers, the elementary and junior high kids, which would be alpha, have probably lived with their liberal parents, right? And isn't it perfect that I just want to rebel against my parents and their politics, so I'm going to go full Christian conservative?
Well, and how
Oh yeah.
ironic is it? And how ironic is it that everyone's been saying, God, this is hard. Everyone's been saying, their faith has to be a part of any sort of renewal that we have. And yet I look at those tents at those colleges, and that's a fucking Wesleyan campground. That's exactly what that is. That's history repeating itself. That's the evangelist in their midst talking to them
Hmm.
about the Holy Spirit, and with the same effect.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The
No,
one,
our daughter.
go ahead.
So our daughter is a a Gen Zer. Okay, our daughter was born in the like the mid 2000s. Okay,
Yeah.
and she grew up. We raised her in private school her entire education because we knew the stuff she was going to get fed in public schools. So we kept her in private school. Like her
Good,
whole
good on
education. When she
you.
finally
Good
came,
on you. I mean, I kept my kids in Catholic school. We weren't even Catholics, just to keep
mm,
them away from the shit. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So when she finally got to college, we were not sure what direction she was going to go. I mean, we knew that she was going to a Christian college and everything. We were super proud and everything. But some of that lefty stuff started kind of seeping in a little bit. It was just kind of trickling in. Not as much of a deluge as she would have gotten, say, if she'd been at a regular university, but it was still trickling in there. And every so often we'd hear some of the wackadoo things that would come out of her mouth. But then she got sick. She got critically sick, and she ended up in the emergency room. And we weren't sure what was going to happen with her. And so we told her, you need to come home, you need to recuperate, and this is going to be where you are. And so we pulled her and we brought her home. And during her time of recuperating, she had this deep awakening of, I want to have a life where I'm married and I have children and I have this beautiful house where I can have my garden and my animal. And she had this wonderful awakening of just essentially the traditional ideology that I had not heard her speaking like in a long while, because that had been something she had strayed away from when she had gotten into like her late teens and into college there. So to see
You
her
didn't,
return back to that, sorry, go ahead.
you didn't talk about it, but you two showed her that. Much more important. I can't hear what you say because what you do speaks so loudly.
It's a good
And
point.
with today's youth, it's all about being authentic, Trad Mom, and that was a
Mhm.
validation of your and Trad Dad's authenticity. You should be
Yeah,
proud.
no, she got married this June to young man. Yes, I was so proud. She got married. They had a beautiful church ceremony. My father performed the ceremony. Her husband is currently evaluating going into trade school rather than university
Good.
because he wants to
Tell them
become
to
an
stay the hell away
electrician.
from college.
Yep.
College is wasted money. Don't do it.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
exactly.
But become a wire puller. Honestly, it pays a lot of money to pull wire
No
through
one should go.
construction.
No one should go to college. I mean,
No.
I really, I'm not joking. I mean, it's for 90% of people, it's a huge mistake.
Oh,
What about?
absolutely.
I mean, even in pharmaceutical, right? I mean, couldn't honestly, couldn't you learn that without college and then take the test?
You could do an internship with me. I'll teach it
That's
to
my
you.
point, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and the people that have PTCB license, that's all self-learning. You did it on a computer at work, right? And then you went and took the
Right.
3-hour test,
I mean,
and
we've
there
got
you
we've
go.
got an apprentice. We've got an apprentice at the salon learning how to do nails. You know,
Yeah,
those things still exist. Yeah, they're regulated, but if you've got somebody who's committed, you can bust through the bureaucracy, and make it happen.
that's awesome. All right, so hey, I don't know if you guys want to like maybe make this semi-regular on Fridays and just like open topic, and we all hang out, whoever can show up. But we do have to wrap this one up. We can discuss that.
I'm up for it. I like these guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
like
they
this
like
too.
me. I talk a lot, but I say things. So there you go.
Hey,
I mean, I don't
JC,
agree. I don't agree with the St. Louis Blues there, but that I'll deal with that.
They're once every 53 years, whether they need it or not.
Chicago Cubs of hockey there.
so hey,
Hey,
Man.
so hey, I
got
do have,
one.
Yeah, go on.
I do,
Well, listen,
I do have
you
a.
didn't realize, Trad Dad, you didn't realize that was a harbinger for the end of the world with COVID, was that the Blues won the Stanley Cup. I didn't realize it at the time, but it obviously had something. It's like the Seven Sisters or whatever, the end times. Remember Bruce Almighty, the movie, when Jim Carrey was walking around and all these crazy things were happening? They said, the Buffalo Sabres have won the Stanley Cup. Well, that still hasn't happened, but the Blues have. So there you go.
I don't think the
So
end of the
hey,
world will happen until the Cleveland Guardians win the World Series at this point.
They're hot.
oh,
If they get in, they've got a chance.
so hey, I do have a request to make. You guys keep my mom in prayer. She's going to be going in for open heart surgery.
What's her
They
first name?
Zoraida or Z. We just call her Z
Z,
because
okay.
her name is very long.
Done.
But yeah, they
And
found something on her heart and they're sending her in to get it taken off. So
glad to do it.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, we're going to close this one out. I had a good time tonight. I hope all of our watchers
You
also
guys
had a
are
good
great.
time.
Thank you so much.
absolutely.
So much fun.
Yes.